Hello everyone, Hector Mendoza here. In this video, I want to show you how to work with shapes in Vectr, which is a free vector-based software. It's a web-based. But I'm going to show you how to ungroup, how to manipulate compound paths. Uh, so this should be a pretty fast and easy video. So let me explain what I'm going to try to convey. So here, let me delete everything here. Okay. So in Vector, there's this tools that are called shapes. So if you click on shapes, you're going to get all of this different kinds of shapes that you can use, and it's all vector. Okay. So I'm going to draw a few. First, I'll draw like a simple X. I'll draw a heart. Okay, and then I'm going to get more into some more complicated ones. Like for instance, this doesn't look complicated, but if you don't know what you're doing, it can give you some unwanted effects. Let's go in here and find some even more difficult ones than this. Which one would be a okay, right here? This one might cause, oops, this might give you some problems. And then let me see, we'll do one more. Okay, so right now you see all of them has a gray color. What happens if you want to change that color? Okay, so if you go in here and here's your colors here, right? And you say, well, you know what, I want a purple. You see, it's not letting me. If I click here and change that to a purple, that one will let me, because that one is just a simple, and it doesn't have compound paths or groups. So if I click here, that's another simple one. I can change it to whatever color I want. Additionally, I could go in here. Here, let me make this a little bit bigger. Go in here, make this one bigger. Since this one's on top, I'm going to change the opacity of it. So I'm going to change it to 50%. Okay, you can even change it right here to make it easier. So it's going to take 50% of this color and 50% of this color wherever it intersects, and it's going to take that characteristic. Now, so now let's talk about this other elements here. These elements can be a little tricky because either they have compound paths or they have some group elements. So let's say I click and I put this guy right here, okay? And but wherever it's white, I want it to be purple, and right in here I want it to be purple, and wherever it's gray, I want that to be maybe a different color. So if I go in here, click here, and try to change it to green, nothing happens, right? What you have to do is ungroup it. So if you hit Control U for ungroup, now that is going to ungroup it. So at this point, you can change the color of it, right? So if I go in here, oops, if I go in here and change the color, watch what happens. If I change it to blue, everything changes, right? Well, you can go in and so I'm going to select it again and deselect this one. If I go in here and turn it into a compound path, you see it kept the color, and you can see through wherever white is white because it converted it into a compound path. So remember, the way I did it was I went in, ungrouped it, changed the color, and then grouped it all. while it was selected. Now, there's going to be some instances that you can't do that, and you would have to play around with this things that they create, because they all didn't create it based on just compound paths. Compound paths, some of them were created in just grouping, and let me explain that. So I believe this is one of them. See, if I go in here and I place that in there, now in this area, it's made into a compound because I can see the background going through this area. But look at the white. It's knocked out of this background, right? I'm going to show you how you can fix that. So we're going to go in here. While I have it selected, I'm going to hit Control U, and I'm going to ungroup it. Okay, so now at this point, I could actually turn everything into a color. Okay, so I could go, right now it's gray, let's turn it into yellow. Since there's no yellow there, it'll be easy for us to see. Everything turns into a yellow, right? Now, if I selected everything and turn it into what I call a compound path, I click on it, it doesn't do nothing, right? That's not the effect that I want. Now, I'm going to lasso this first two here, right? I'm going to turn that one into a compound path. Here, excuse me. Here, let me see. Well, there's so much stuff going on here. Okay. It's not let me. There you go. Okay. Now, and you have to play with this sometimes because of the way it was created, right? So now, if I click this, move it around, it doesn't, it's not associated with this one here. Okay. Now, if I hit Control G, that's grouped. When I click here, I can move it around. And at that point, I can go and change the percentage. Let's say we're going to change it to 50%. That way it takes the characteristics of the background. You know, when I've played around with a few of these elements, and some of them are created in compounds. Some of them are just groups. So you would just have to play around with it. There's a lot of shapes that can help you create different illustrations. Let me see what this last one did. Okay, so right now it's gray. I'm going to click here, and let's turn that orange. It's not going to do nothing because I haven't ungrouped it. So let's hit Control U for ungroup, and let's turn everything into orange, and then turn it into a compound path by clicking here, and selected everything here. Boom, it worked. So that was an easy one. And that, well, right now, see, now I can change it. Okay, so anyway, I thought I'd show you some of this stuff that I learned. I've been playing around with this program. I know about 10 or 15 programs, so it's easy to break this stuff apart because the algorithms of the programs, they all have similarities. So it allows me to break these programs apart and learn how to do certain things. Guys, thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope it was helpful. If you enjoyed it, give me a thumbs up and become a subscriber. I have a lot of little tips and tricks and a bunch of different programs that I use. Again, my name is Hector Mendoza, and I will see you on the next video.